Hello everyone, I hope you're doing awesome today. Now I wasn't planning on making another one of these videos quite so soon. In fact, I wasn't planning on doing it for a long time. But I have gotten yet another car. Now this was very unplanned. Some things have happened with my red car. So I was coming home late one night, driving down my road, which is a private road, so it's kind of isolated. And on my way home, I'm going around a corner, and this deer jumps out in front of me. So I see it. I'm maybe 25, 30. Try to swerve out of the way, and I end up slamming into a tree. So not exactly my brightest moment. Now all my friends, people that talked to about it, they all said, "Oh, you should just hit the deer straight on." Thing is, when you're in that situation, you see an animal, you kind of want to move out of the way. It's not so natural to try to head towards it. That being said, the damage wasn't too substantial. I mean, the left wheel was basically off, and the only thing really keeping it attached was the upper control arm. Sorry, water bottle. It was mainly all to the left. So I looked at the right side of the car looked perfect, so you had no idea that it had any damage whatsoever. The motor was still perfect, so I was really hoping to rebuild the car. I loved it so much, and I thought, that's not a problem, we'll rebuild it. I needed a new bumper and fenders at the minimum, so I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, maybe I'll upgrade to Z06 or ZR1 bumpers and fenders so I get a wide body again, and that'll be really cool. That didn't quite go as planned. So despite not looking like it was so bad, the damages totaled over $20,000, which really just boggled my mind that it was so expensive. But to say the least, the insurance company totaled the car. So now I had no car, and I had a blank check. So what do I do? Where do I go from here? Now, if you're looking at my history, so I've been driving since I was, 15. And within those 5 years, I've had 5 different vehicles. It started off with the Porsche Boxster, the 986. Then went on to the BMW 7 Series, the E65. Then a Mini Cooper S, the R53. The Ducati 1098, and then the C6 Corvette. So I've changed my car just about every year. It doesn't consistently go on that basis, but about an average. And I don't do it because I get bored with what I have. It's more that I like variety. I like to change things up every now and then. So what do I get? Where do I go from here? I have a fresh start. I can get anything I want to get. And for the first time in those 5 years, I ended up getting what I had before. I got another C6 Corvette. Now that means something quite significant, because instead of changing like I always have, I actually decided to keep what I had before. And the reason for that is these cars are so good. I was always a Corvette fan before, but traction issues. I've kind of become a fanatic ever since I bought my red one. And you gotta stay there. And it's only getting even more exponential. So I bought another Corvette. Now this one is a little different from my red one. This is a 2007, so I thought I'd go over some of the differences on this car versus the old one that I had. Now 07 still had the LS2. It was the last year for that, so it's still a 6-liter V8, 400 horsepower. Luckily for me though, because it's still the same motor, I was able to transfer all my parts. So my Texas Speed Performance headers, the X-pipe, the Billy Boat Route 66 exhaust, all moved over, and you can probably tell that by the sound. So I didn't lose any of those parts, which is really nice because I love how it sounds. When I first got this car, for the first week or so, it was so quiet. I couldn't stand it. I don't know why they make Corvettes so quiet, but now that's been changed and greatly enhanced. Now, motor's still the same, body-wise, still the same, not a convertible, of course. Now, you might be able to tell this actually has the plastic roof through it. At first, I wasn't so sure about that. I was kind of like, it's going to get really hot. It's a black car. I live in Southwest Florida, so this might be a bit of a pain. Turns out I kind of love it. It's really cool. It just opens up the whole cabin area a little bit, and I don't know, it looks really cool to just look up in the sky every now and then. I mean, right now it's a little cloudy, but it just looks really cool, so I kind of love it. That being said, it was pretty hot last week, and driving to school, it was, almost unbearable. So I do have to keep that in mind. That being said, that's really cool. Now, 05 was the only year they had that ugly 4-spoke wheel. They changed it in 06, so now I have a very nice 3-spoke, and oh my God, does it make a miles of difference. I always said with the 4-spoke wheel, I kind of liked it because it was unique. It was ugly, but at least it was specific to the Corvette. This wheel They put it on the Cobalt, the HHR, just about every car that GM could make. They put this wheel on it. So that means it's not particularly special. That being said, just because something is unique doesn't necessarily make it good. And had I driven an 06 or above car before I drove the 05, I never would have bought an 05. This wheel is 1,000 times nicer. Now, yeah, it is just purely a cosmetic thing, but because it's your steering wheel, that's such an important part of the car. I mean, you're holding onto that literally the entire time that you're in it. And it looks a lot better. The 3-spoke looks so much nicer. It feels a lot better. It's a much smaller diameter. It's a little thicker. Now, a smaller wheel won't actually change the way the car feels, but because it's a little smaller, you're going to actually have less turns to turn the wheel, so your steering feels much more direct. So when you're actually turning in through corners, the steering is way, way better. So I love to have this 3-spoke wheel. It's really, really nice. Now, of course, still with a 6-speed manual, I'm not going to get an automatic Corvette. That's not going to happen, at least not for at least 40, 50 years until I get to the Corvette age, and then I can probably get one. That hasn't really changed. Now, outside color, of course, it's different. It is black versus the red. Now, this I was a little unsure of at the beginning. I loved the red. It was also precision red, which is a very rare color, and that was such a cool color. The black, I was kind of like, it's a little more common. It's grown on me 100%. For some reason, I can't imagine why, this car gets 5 times as many looks as the red car did. Now, Corvettes, yeah, are kind of common at this point, especially when you go on YouTube and you see, you know, people vlogging in Lamborghinis and Ferraris and whatever. A C6 Corvette is like, whatever. But the C6s haven't really aged so much, so they still look great. And especially when they see me driving, oh, look at the young guy driving the car, you know. This car still has first and fourth. I had that limited on the red car. This one I didn't, so that's annoying. That's gonna get changed with the tune. Don't worry. Now, I think because, and this is my only guess, this car has a really murdered outlook right now. So dark black, windows tinted dark, and then it has black ZR1 wheels on it. So, and red brakes. So I think because it looks so murdered out, that's what gets people's attention. Because I'll admit, I'll be sitting at a stoplight and everyone just goes, and I'm like, yeah. So it's really cool. That's one of the reasons I love the Corvette, is because it still gets attention. So I have noticed that with the color, that it does seem to get more attention, which I didn't expect from a black car. Going from a red car to a black car, I would have thought it would have been the opposite, but actually it gets more for some reason. Interior as well, yeah, you can see the seats are a little different. The seats themselves are the same, but the color is different. I had a tan interior. This one's a black and white two-tone, which I wasn't so sure about at the beginning, but I really like it. The contrasting goes really, really nicely. And then on the center console, it's a dark gray instead of a silver on the plastic kit. Other than that, not much has changed. The car is still about the same. Oh, there is on the nav system, when you're listening to the radio and you turn the radio off, you get the Corvette logo, which is kind of cool. Not a big thing, but that's on there differently. Oh, as well, also, if anyone has an 05 car, they'll know when you stop the car and turn it off, you have to shift into reverse, otherwise the electronics won't turn off. It's a stupid thing, but for some reason, Chevy decided to do that. This car does not do that, so that's really, really nice. And there's some chrome bits around the AC vents. But other than that, not much has changed. The car is still the same, which I'm perfectly happy with. Like I said, this is the first time that I kept the same car that I had before. And I think that kind of holds testament to how great this car is and how much I love it. It's amazing. It's such a great car. I do think the C6 Corvettes are kind of underrated, mostly because of their interiors. They get so much hate for the interiors that you forget when you actually drive the car just how good of a car this is. And I love the interior. I do plan to do a video talking about, you know, things I like about it, maybe things I don't like about it. I haven't got around to doing that yet, but I will be doing it soon. And I'll talk about those specific things in that video. And that's annoying me. That sounds unbelievably good. And we're doing the speed limit still, of course, because I always have to drive safe and responsible. Anyways, I think that's a great way to, especially my water bottle. I think that's a great way to end today's video. Like I said, very exciting stuff here. A new car. Now the sun is out, so I'm really feeling the heat, so AC is definitely going on. like I said, new car. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully, I'll have lots of videos to show with this one. I plan to do a walk around as well sometime soon so you can actually see the car, because I don't think I've shown it to you guys yet. And then we can have a better idea of what it is. And like I said, I'll do things I like about it. The review is going to come up soon. Like I said before, I mentioned this in the first video when I got my red Corvette. I like to have the car for a while first. You know, when you have the car for a week, say, oh, I like this, I like that, this is super cool. But after having it for 6 months, a year, some things might grow really annoying. So I figure if I wait a little bit longer, I'll be able to mention those things to you. So if you're interested in buying one, you'll have a better idea of how the car actually is to live with every single day. Other than that, I think we are just about finished. I did a great sunk up in the end. I think I might do one more just because it sounds so good. Jeez, my God. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like and or favorite button. For more videos of me, hit subscribe. And I will hopefully see you very soon.